All right. Welcome back. Patreon.com/the Derrick Lamon Experience, your one-stop shop for your gaming news. Welcome back to the Week in Gaming. This will be the only show to run during this holiday break. Basically, not Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve till New Year's. There might be, I don't think I have anything else recorded to go, but I do have like Christmas content, but I don't have any gaming content, so this is it right here. So you better fucking get used to it. Really quickly, I thought I had something. I guess I don't. I don't know. I'm bugging. I'm tired. We made it through our fall audit at work, but it was kicking my ass and then other stuff. So I'm tired. Gifts need to be wrapped. Carols need to be sang. Eggnog needs to be drank. But I'm here because this is what I do, and I want to bring the show to you guys. So anyway, we're gonna start this off as always with grain of salt. Take this with a grain of salt until there's confirmation. We don't know. This is just what we are hearing out here in these gaming streets. This is coming from our good friends over at InsiderGaming.com. Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake could be revealed next month. It's claimed. Long anticipated remake of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion could be revealed next month. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care about the Elder Scrolls. I don't care about Fallout. The Fallout TV show was great. I'm not a fan of Bethesda games in totality. The one that I enjoyed the most was actually Starfield. I gave Starfield a 7 out of 10, and for me, that's a great score for a Bethesda game, just saying. According to Leaker, Extalis, not only is this Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake real, but Xbox could announce the game in an Xbox Direct event in January. We know that they have been doing those the last couple of years. Last year, they showed us Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. The year before that, I want to say was Hi-Fi Rush that they shadow dropped out of nowhere, and something else I can't remember. Not only could it be announced next month, but the game could be released sometime in 2025. Per previous rumors, the remake is being developed by Virtuous and being built in Unreal Engine 5. Doesn't sound good. Those rumors also hinted at a 2025 release for the game. If you recall, the first word of a remake or remaster of the game came during FTC's investigation into Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. At the time, the documents revealed the game was expected during fiscal year 2022, but that obviously never came to be. Since then, nothing has been said publicly by Microsoft or Bethesda on its status. As with every rumor, please take this information with a grain of salt until it's officially confirmed or Insider Gaming can independently verify the information. Same with the Week in Gaming. As I stated, take this with a grain of salt. Until we know, until we get actual confirmation, this is all just conjecture, and we don't know if it is real. Okay? Just remember that. I don't know. Again, I'm not a fan of Bethesda games. I loved the Fallout TV show. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it deserved the accolades that it received. When it won at the Game Awards, I was actually very, very happy. The show was so good, it made me go back and try to play Fallout 4, and I got further than I did any other time playing it in the past, and I was still like, yeah, no, still not for me, but it's a good game for somebody, not just for me. I'm just sorry. I don't know. But we shall see. Congratulations to them. In other news, congratulations to EA. Per Sean Carey, a true achievement. The Xbox 360 servers of NCAA Football 14 will close on March 13th of 2025. Our fallen hero, it's finally time. Unfortunately, this game brought a lot of people joy, and it is the basis of which College Football Revamped was built on. And College Football Revamped kept us all busy until we got EA Sports College Football 25, which is now the highest selling sports game. And it was the highest selling game of the year as well. So congratulations to everybody over at EA who worked on the game. Can't wait to see what they have in store for 26. The one thing I really want, the rivalry trophies, I want the trophy case and stuff like that. I think I want the user experience for Road to Glory to be a little more in depth. A lot of people are like, well, we want the high school portion back. I don't know. Like, I remember one year high school Road to Glory started like at the state playoffs, and you had 4 games to like really impress the scouts, and then I think 14 You play like a full high school season and then you play the state playoffs. By the time you actually get onto campus, you're like, holy shit. I made it all the way through my freshman season at Mizzou in my playthrough. That's available here on the Patreon if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber and you're listening, um, on the free feeds, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, etc., please subscribe to the Patreon. Paid members get other perks and things like that. Um, but again, congratulations to EA Sports because I can't tell you. Actually, I can tell you. This is my PlayStation wrap up. I don't know. I'm not gonna go back and look. I played over 100 hours of college football 25. I'm not even gonna lie, and that's just on PlayStation 5. I also played it on Xbox Series X and Series S as well. So I put quite a bit of time into that game. I did the 10-hour trial on Xbox, and then they offered more time. There was like a free to play weekend. I was like, absolutely, because I never removed it from my hard drives. College football is heading into the playoff. Actually, I'm recording this the day before the playoff kicks off, so I would imagine that that game is going to go into the EA vault here within the next couple of weeks, probably towards the end of the season, and then I will be continuing my franchise on Xbox Series X. I have a online franchise with some friends, but we can't seem to all get on the same page, and most of us pick teams in the SEC, so we have to play each other. We got to coordinate these play times, and everybody's super duper busy. So hopefully, over these next couple of weeks, my guys who are actively Justin is a teacher, so obviously his schedule is very very tied up. Earl is going to the University of going to Morehouse University, very prestigious, so his time is tied up, and he's also a dad and full time. They're both dads, work full time. Sterl's been very busy. We've all been very, very busy, very busy. But hopefully, we will find time to finish at least the first season of this damn thing. I don't know if we're gonna do it next year, um, but having a great time with the game, and I think it's deserving of all the accolades. It's crazy how it's the highest selling game, and when the categories for the Game Awards came out, if you've seen the video of me going over the nominations on Patreon, you could see when they announced the best sports slash racing game, I was like, how the hell was that game not nominated? That made no sense to anybody. And then you find out now, best selling game of the year. Wait, what's going on? How is it not nominated? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, again, congratulations to everybody over at EA that worked on that game. You guys certainly put your heart and souls into it. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. And I cannot wait to see what else that you guys have in store. Really quickly, this was a story that's been going on, and we're wondering what's been going to happen. And it's finally been revealed that Sony is not acquiring Katakawa. They only acquired an additional 10% worth of shares, which they already had. So now I think they own like 20%. Let's see. Yes, okay. Sony becomes majority shareholder in FromSoft company Katakawa. Um, they agree to form a strategic capital and business alliance. No full buyout. Sony just increasing their stake to 10%. So I don't know what this capital and business alliance is going to all evolve into. I think that a lot of people who are extremely PlayStation centric wanted it because they wanted to be the parent company of From Software, and they kind of wanted From Software to be part of PlayStation Studios. I think that's what people thought was going to happen when they acquired Bungie. There's some stuff in the Bungie contracts that if like certain goals weren't met, then Sony would take over full throttle. I know that they missed their target for one of those Destiny 2 expansions. Not saying that Bungie is going to become a PlayStation studio, but I mean it's already under the SIE banner, so eventually I don't know. We'll see. I'm not a fan of From Software games. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Um, I played a little bit of Demon Souls Remake on PS5 because I had the highest tier PlayStation Plus, and I was like, well, I don't have to pay for it, so why not? Not a fan. Played a little bit of Bloodborne, not a fan. Played a little bit of Lies of P, like that more than anything, and that's not a From Software title, but it's a Souls title. Okay. Wasn't everybody's like, you need to try Elden Ring? I'm like, no, there's absolutely no way I'm gonna waste my money on a game that I know I'm not gonna play. The last time I did that was actually with the first Destiny game, $60 loss. I played that game maybe 4 or 5 times. because my friend typed me like, "No, this is gonna be awesome. We're all gonna play together," and we did not all play together. I'm just telling you that right now. So, Sony has not acquired Katakawa fully, and it doesn't look like that's gonna happen anytime soon. So you guys can go to bed with that one. Um, our top story says the games industry will only have room for one non-Nintendo console next generation, it's claimed. This is coming from our good friends over at VideoGamesChronicle.com. Either Sony or Microsoft will, quote, struggle mightily with their next console, research firm predicts. I'm not gonna do the console war thing, but if we're talking about any console maker struggling with their next product, we already know who we're talking about. They told us that nobody would buy the PlayStation 5 Pro because it was $700, and the thing is selling out in spades. And even people who wanted the 30th anniversary edition, that one's like $1,000, and people bought that in spades. So when it comes to PlayStation and their marketing and their ability to sell consoles, never count them out. I'm sorry. Um, Microsoft. I don't know. Market research firm DFC Intelligence released its annual market report and forecast this week, in which it projects major revenue growth for the second half of the decade, while predicting significant risk for one of three established console manufacturers. DFC predicts that thanks to new hardware from Nintendo and major releases such as GTA 6, the games industry will enjoy record growth in 2025 following a period of decline following the COVID-19 pandemic. We're still waiting to see. Firm predicts that the number of people worldwide who play video games will exceed 4 billion by 2027, nearly half the global population. It projects that Nintendo will be the clear winner in the next generation of consoles due to largely a combination of earlier availability and limited competition. However, DFC projects that only one of Sony and Microsoft will be able to successfully compete with Nintendo when their new console launches by 2028. I'm going to pause right here and tell you this. These Switch 2 leaks seem to be coming out like really rapidly, and it seems like they all say the same thing. So what you've seen with the U kickstand on the back and the magnetic Joy-Cons, I think that actually might be the Switch 2. I'm going to tell you this. Whatever they're using to get that super sampling DLSS thing, that's really cool, especially for a console like that. In terms of power, apparently it's really only going to hit the PlayStation 3 or the Xbox 360, which would still put it 2 generations behind the current generations of console, right? So the games are going to look shinier with the DLSS that Nintendo like is developing. I don't know if Nvidia's in on that or not. I have to double check. But it's still not going to match up to the PlayStation 5 nor the Xbox Series X and S. I'm not going to lie. Maybe the S. I don't know about the X. But the problem with that is the fact that Microsoft has mandated that in order to release a game on the Series X, you also have to release that game on the Series S. There can't be any parity, and that's what's going to hold them back. And we're going to get to that in a second as well. So just because Nintendo's getting a head start, they're going to do well because The Legend of Zelda is always going to be a seller for that console. A Super Mario platformer is always going to be a seller for that console. A 3D Super Mario platformer will sell that console. A Mario Kart will sell that console. Metroid Prime 4, and so on and so forth. And more IP that Nintendo decide, hey, we've got a treasure trove of just incredible history of games. We're going to start giving it out to these developers. We're still going to publish it, but this developer is going to work on this game and we'll publish it. And this developer is going to work on this game and then we'll publish it. They're still keeping things under their umbrella. Nintendo is not going to allow their titles to show up on a PlayStation nor an Xbox. They're going to survive. Sony is not going to put their exclusives on an Xbox or a Nintendo. They'll sit on the PC a year and a half, maybe 2 years after the release, but that's it. What Microsoft is doing, everybody, it just seems like a full steam, full guns, we're going full third party. And the only people who don't believe that seem to be the people carrying the Xbox flags on Twitter and stuff like that, the console warriors. So, I don't know. The article continues, quote, there isn't more room for more than two major console systems. It says Sony or Microsoft will struggle mightily in a distant third place. Wow. Largely depending on which of those companies can gain early momentum. Well, Microsoft is kind of shitting the bed already by what they're doing. However, there's a reason for that, and Satya Nadella came out and said it. if I was somebody who only had an Xbox console, I would feel really, really upset, especially for the people who invested in that console day one when the original Xbox released back in 2001. Like I was in college when that thing came out. Um, and they are like, I'm Team Green the whole way, and we're gonna. I remember Iron Lords and them on their podcast like we're gonna hold the line. Like Tim Dog was like, "No, fuck that. I'm out of here, dog. Give me a PlayStation 5." Like they literally had this thing on Twitter. It's like Tim Dog has signed the PlayStation 5 contract. He is now a Sony pony. Colt won't jump off. Uni was like, "I'm out of here," and Uni was like King Xbox. His name was literally Xbox University, right? Uni's like, no, this is bullshit what Microsoft is doing. Here's the thing I want you guys to understand, and I've said this multiple times, and this is probably going to be the last time I say it for the year 2024, so please pay attention. My favorite saying when it comes to this whole situation with Microsoft is this: I gave Phil Spencer a blank check, and he spent to the tune of $80 billion acquiring two publishers. I don't give a fuck about exclusivity. We got to get that money back in blood. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the last time I'm giving you the back in blood line for 2024. So we're going to retire it. We may bring it out in 2025 under special circumstances, but that's more than likely the last time you will hear it in 2024. Having said that, they've got some great games. Had Indiana Jones and the Great Circle been released earlier in 2024, I definitely think it gets nominated for Game of the Year at the Game Awards. I spent all day Sunday playing that game. It is fucking phenomenal. And I'm an 80s baby and I love Indiana Jones. And I'm like, this really feels like a fucking movie by far. So I'm like, Microsoft messed up. That game is coming to PlayStation 5 in the spring of 2025. And we have more on titles coming. Remember when they said it's only going to be 4 games at the top of this year? And then we find out there's more and more. And apparently there was a version of Forza Horizon that was ready for the PlayStation 5. They just didn't ship it, which we got to get it back in blood. Sorry, I had to get it one more time. Again, the article goes on to say DFC believes it's too early to know which of Xbox and PlayStation will drop off next gen, stating that price points, launch dates, and other basic features such as portability will factor. Quote, a new Sony PlayStation 6 should have an advantage because of loyal base and strong Sony IP. It says, while noting that Microsoft will go into its next console as the largest gaming publisher. Microsoft failed with Xbox Series X and S, but has made major acquisitions to become the world's largest software publisher. Microsoft has the option of focusing on software and distribution models over hardware, basically going the route that Sega went. When Sega went bye-bye, the Dreamcast came out and everybody loved it. $99.99. I remember the day because they literally had the VMAs that same day because they were like $99.99, the last VMAs of this century. Dreamcast came out that same day. The PlayStation 2 came out, I think it was October of 2000, and ate the Dreamcast lunch. And then Sega's like, yeah, we're just going to make software. We're no longer going to make consoles anymore. And that was the end of Sega as far as the console landscape, right? $80 billion, man. The investors have to get their money back. DFC Intelligence founder and CEO David Cole said in a statement, quote, over the past 3 decades, the video game industry has grown more than 20 times, and after 2 years of slumping hardware and software sales, it's poised to resume growth at a healthy rate through the end of the decade. While 2025 will mark the beginning of that upward trajectory, some huge questions remain, including who will lose the next-gen console war and who will win the game software distribution battle. And with the largest publishers focused on live service around evergreen franchises, opportunities for small studios will be plentiful. Nintendo has yet to officially reveal its Switch successor, but the company has confirmed plans to do so during its current fiscal year, which ends in March of 2025. I would imagine sometime next month or February, we're going to get a look at the next Nintendo Switch. But this is an industry analyst. They're predicting this. This is not fact yet. But if things tend to trend the way that they're moving at the current moment, then that spells trouble for Microsoft. I'm just saying. Speaking of which, there's a lot going on with Microsoft. So what I'm going to do is get to this gaming story really quickly. There's 2 of them, and then we'll finish up with all Microsoft stuff because there's a lot. This coming from Eurogamer. CD Projekt Red stays coy on whether, actually this deals with Microsoft as well, whether The Witcher 4 can run on current-gen consoles, including Xbox Series S. Quote, obviously we want to support all the platforms. That doesn't sound good. Since The Witcher 4's impressive ultra-high Fidelity debut trailer at the Game Awards last week, there's been a fair bit of consternation from fans as to whether it can actually be playable on current gen hardware. That's something that only compounded by the mention in the trailer's small print and brief official blog that the trailer was pre-rendered on a mysterious, unannounced NVIDIA GeForce RTX graphics card, using assets and models from the game itself, suggesting at least some minor level of similarity to what the game will look like on arrival. Developer CD Projekt Red also has some history with older console struggles, of course, with the last-gen consoles of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One proving hugely problematic for Cyberpunk 2077's launch. That was December 10th of 2020, and I remember how bad it was. I remember Sony took it off the PlayStation Store. That's how bad it was. Studio ultimately dropped them from the Phantom Liberty expansion that arrived in 2023. Speaking with CDPR at a new interview last week, Eurogamer asked whether the studio could reassure console owners that they could actually run it, and whether it could run on, say, an Xbox Series S, which, as things still stand, is required for any game releasing on the Xbox Series X. The developers were a little coy in response. Quote, first of all, this is good to say this is not kind of a beginning of marketing campaigns of The Witcher 4's game director, Sebastian Kalimba. Referring to the trailer, we firstly wanted to showcase and share with the entire world that Ciri is the main protagonist in The Witcher 4, and she's mutated and she's on the path, definitely, right? Rather than specifically referencing concerns about certain consoles, Kalimba elaborated a little more, but only went as far as to mention it would be coming to the key platforms more broadly. Quote, the second thing is that, yes, we are working on a new engine right now together with Epic's engineers, and there is a great synergy and great collaboration between us. Currently, we're working on Unreal Engine 5 and our custom build. And obviously, we want to support all the platforms, meaning PC, Xbox, and Sony, right? But I cannot right now tell you more specifics regarding that. He also stressed for a second time that this trailer was just a technical showpiece and good benchmark for now. There's a lot here, and I'm not going to go into all of it. But again, they cannot, with assurance, tell you if this thing is going to run on the Xbox Series S. To be completely honest with you, they can't with assurance tell you it's going to run on the Series S. So I'm sorry, Series X or PlayStation consoles either. How far out is the engine? That's the first question I have. When are they looking to release this? Like, what kind of window? If we're not going to see the next PlayStation console or Xbox consoles till 2028, that gives them 3 years with the clock starting in 2 weeks, right? If it's 3 years out, you might as well not release it on this current gen. You might as well go ahead and go forward with the PlayStation 6 and whatever Microsoft is going to call the next round of Xbox consoles. I don't know. I really don't know. That Cyberpunk launch was absolute bullshit, and it really left a bad taste in my mouth. I love the story. It's just having to go through all the shit we had to just to play the game really, really pissed me off. I hope that they've learned from that mistake. As far as the Series S goes, I hope Microsoft has learned from this mistake too. When the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3 launched in 2005 and 2006, they both launched with two different SKUs. There was the Xbox 360 Arcade Edition, which did not have wireless controllers and did not have a hard drive, right? It had wired controllers, and you had to buy memory cards. The next year, the PlayStation 3 released in two SKUs, a 20 gig version, pretty much no big bells and whistles, and then there was the 60 gig version. The 20 gig was 500, the 60 gig was 600, and that's the one I got. My mother flipped the fuck out. She's like, "You spent $1,000." I'm like, "No," and she's like, "They said it's $1,000." I'm like, "It's $600." She's like, "The news said." I'm like, "Stop watching the news. The news is wrong." Like, I literally had to show my mom the receipt. Anyway, the $600 version came with like SD card readers, multiple USB ports, Wi-Fi, everything, and it was amazing. The launch PlayStation 3 60 gig piano black is still my favorite console design of all time. It looked very fucking elegant. That felt like my first real adult purchase. Like, this is big. Two SKUs of the Xbox, and then they both found out probably shouldn't have did this. So with the the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, one SKU, and then they just iterated on those. Then they come back with two SKUs this next time. So I don't know what they're going to do the next time out. I really have no answer for you. Appropriate pricing is the question, considering the tariffs and things like that that are going to be imposed. I don't want to get into a bunch of political jargon. It's not my bag. Um, but again, the PlayStation 5 Pro just launched at $700 and it didn't even have a disc drive. It doesn't bode well for the future. That's all I'm saying. That's all I am saying. So we shall see. Now, speaking of other games and the Microsoft Xbox consoles, this also coming from our good friends over at Insider Gaming, and this should have been in grain of salt because we don't have any proof, but it is what it is. Lego Horizon Adventures could be coming to Xbox in the coming months. It's claimed. It has been claimed that Lego Horizon Adventures could soon be coming to Xbox in a bid to make the game a commercial success. That's according to Arab media outlet Just Play It, who claim that their sources have said that Lego Horizon Adventures will be coming to Xbox in the coming months. While the outlet did not give a specific date, they said it's likely to come in the first months of 2025 at most, and even went as far as speculating that it could be sooner. Move comes as the console exclusivity strategy between platforms has shifted in the past few years. PlayStation has seen tremendous success in bringing some of its titles to PC, whereas Xbox has decided to bring the majority of exclusives over to PlayStation. Windows Central Jez Corden even recently said, we'll get to that in a second, Insider Gaming has reached out to Sony PlayStation for comments, and if we receive a comment, we will update this article. It made sense putting it on the Nintendo Switch. I think if they were to go full third party, they should have. That would be something they would have announced from day one. So, do I think it's actually coming to Xbox? I'm gonna say no. If it came to PC, that would make sense considering there's already the other Lego games are on PC. I have the Lego Star Wars Skywalker collection on PC. I don't expect this to come to Xbox. I'm just being completely honest. Especially, here's the thing. Microsoft jumped off the porch and spent $80 billion acquiring Bethesda ZeniMax and then acquiring Activision Blizzard King. They've got to make that money back. Notice I didn't say it. I didn't say it this time. Sony spent $3 billion on Bungie, and they actually haven't seen a return on their investment either. So, apples to oranges, whatever. They don't have to do this. And I think if they were going to put it on Xbox, that would have happened at the launch. I'm sorry. The reason MLB Show is on Xbox is because Major League Baseball told Sony, you either put it on the Xbox and put it on the Nintendo Switch, or we will take the license from you and take it elsewhere. That's why MLB The Show is now available there. You could not play MLB The Show without owning the current PlayStation console. This goes back, I think this is its second or third year on multiplats. I don't know. It's either 2 or 3. No more than that, no less. So I just don't see this coming from Sony. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I think that people want this to happen so they can say, look, Sony's doing it too. Like, this is the right thing to do. It's not. It really isn't. Why would I buy if you're gonna put your games on my console of choice? Where's the incentive for me to buy your console? There isn't one. Like, plain as day. Like, if I didn't already own an Xbox Series X and Series S, and I'm like, man, I really love to play Gears of War E-Day, which I cannot wait to play, by the way, and I really love to play Forza Horizon, which I can't wait for the next Forza Horizon, but I don't have an Xbox. No worries, friend. We're going to put it on your console. Great. Now there's no need for me to go out and buy an Xbox. I can just sit here and play whatever I got until that game becomes available on PlayStation. Just because Microsoft is sending stuff over here does not mean Sony has got to send stuff back the other way. I just want you guys to understand that. Now, this goes back to what Jez Corden was talking about. Actually, let's get to another one. Xbox Fable might launch on PS5 too, says Microsoft Insider. Oh, this is all Jez. So anyway, this is what Jez is saying. Oh, number one, really quickly, I'm sorry, before that. Hellblade 2 Xbox exclusivity considered a mistake by Microsoft. A Microsoft insider has claimed that Xbox strategy of not launching Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 on PS5 is considered a mistake by the company. Prior to Ninja Theory's acquisition, the original release, Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, launched as a time PS4 console exclusive and went on to become a commercial success. Jez is mentioned everywhere here, so let's just get down to the brass tacks. Reliable insider has recently claimed that the era of Xbox having permanent console exclusives is over, something that's been becoming clearer and clearer over the past year. Earlier this week, one of the biggest surprises of the Game Awards was the first gameplay trailer for The Outer Worlds 2, which is set to release at some point in 2025. It was a shock to see, considering Obsidian already has avowed releasing in just 2 months. The most noteworthy part of the reveal was at the end when the PS5 logo popped up alongside the logos for Xbox and Steam. Xbox had already been making it very clear over the past year with the release of Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded, Pentiment, and eventually Indiana Jones and The Great Circle that it's no longer as interested in console exclusives. The Outer Worlds 2 seems to have cemented that even more, as confirmed by a reliable insider. And this is where Jez comes into play. As pointed out in the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit, Windows Central executive editor Jez Corden responded to a comment accusing him of not addressing the Outer Worlds 2 PS5 confirmation and the deep trouble it spells for Xbox as a whole. The tweet says, some quote, seems to be a strategy they're telegraphing these days, but oddly enough, one they don't want to explicitly come out and say. Jez replied, it's because they don't want to just mandate it on teams that aren't set up yet for multi-platform simultaneous development. But the era of Xbox having permanent console exclusives is over. This caused a bit of confusion from one commenter who wondered why Xbox doesn't just outright say that the new strategy instead of stringing fans along. While that's fair, Corden then says the era of Xbox having permanent console exclusives is over, something that the writing has been on the wall for over the past few years. Although it's possible that Corden is exaggerating or might end up being incorrect, he's been reliable in the past when it comes to Xbox plans and has previously made it clear that Microsoft is no longer as interested in Xbox having exclusives, still considering how strangely it's been communicated in 2024. It's nice to hear it outright said. Well, here's the thing. People could say Jez is lying. Jez is kind of a jerk, I'm not going to lie. He's one of my least favorite people in this whole gaming space, but the guy does know what he's talking about half the time. If you don't believe Jez, well, you can go on YouTube. Satya Nadella, who was the CEO of Microsoft, basically said, let's see what he said, because I don't want to misquote the guy. Let's see. Satya Nadella. Forbes has the article. Ooh. Paul Tassi wrote this. As PlayStation players wait to play Xbox exclusive Indiana Jones 6 months or so from now, we are reminded of the strange situation the console brand finds itself in, where it is really not even a console brand at all anymore, at least not according to Microsoft. Microsoft has rolled out the quote, this is an Xbox campaign attempting to show all the different places you can play Xbox games that are not on literal Xboxes. This includes smart TVs, non-gaming laptops, phones, tablets, third-party gaming devices. All of that, of course, is using cloud streaming to play, unlike the consoles or PCs that download the actual games. This recently came up in an interview with Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, who doubled down on the idea. We are we are redefining what it means to be an Xbox fan. It's about being able to enjoy Xbox on all your devices. This comes in the wake of several news items and real world developments that there are essentially no Xbox games that are off the table when it comes to heading to other platforms like PlayStation. The idea Microsoft has here is that between day one Game Pass releases and this quote, everything is an Xbox idea, that it will still retain Xbox loyalists while drawing in new players. Xbox fans do not seem terribly amused that Microsoft is redefining them. The Xbox brand has been a staple of the gaming industry for 20 years now, and millions of fans have stuck with them through thick and thin, like the Red Ring of Death on the Xbox 360. I was lucky that I didn't get that till it came out in 05. I didn't get it till like 09. I got lucky. Now they're watching a company barely interested in even selling its own hardware, trying to hype people up about streaming games to their phones and giving away what should be big Xbox-only titles to its direct rival, PlayStation. Be they immediately, on a time delay, or some unknowable point in the future. Not only is it hard to see how you acquire new fans with this philosophy, but how do you retain old ones? A refrain in his post that Xbox may be too early again, which I would say tracks. This is an idea Microsoft has that a huge number of people are interested in streaming AAA Xbox games to a bunch of random electronics. Does not have much basis in the reality at the present moment. Even Microsoft itself said in court that cloud gaming was a tiny fraction of the market now. There's more on this. Again, the article is on Forbes. They're saying it. They're saying it without just flat out saying it. Hey, that exclusive shit is over. But they're saying it. Like, there's no hidden jargon. This is an Xbox ad is crazy. It's deplorable. Again, if you are a loyalist to the Xbox ecosystem and that is the only platform that you play on and you see that ad, if I was one of those people, I'd have been like, what the fuck is this? Because you sold me a $500 fucking paperweight 2 generations in a row. I'd be pissed. And I see why some of them are. But the caveat to that is at the top of the year, The rumors came, hey, 4 games are going to PlayStation and Nintendo Switch. Nah, they don't know what they're talking about. And then Microsoft came out and said it's 4 games and this, that, and the third. And everybody's like, this is fine. The sky's not falling. And then it keeps happening. Not my business. Because I own all the major platforms. I've said this again multiple times this year and last year. I would never lock myself into one ecosystem in gaming because I still want to play what Nintendo's going to put out. I still want to play what Microsoft's going to put out. I still want to play what PlayStation's going to put out. I would never lock myself into one ecosystem. So here these people are, and they're really upset. And I'm sorry. I want to have empathy for you, but the writing has been on the wall. And again, you cannot spend $80 billion acquiring 2 publishers. You have got to get that money back. You cannot let $80 billion walk out the door. That's just not, that's financially irresponsible. Fiscally irresponsible. And just plain fucking stupid. So again, I want to have sympathy for you guys. But I can't because you saw this coming. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Tell your friends if you're listening on one of the free feeds or whatever, please subscribe to the Patreon. We've got some great content coming up in 2025, me and the little one. I'm gonna go ahead and end this like I end everything else. Believe in yourself first and foremost, because if you don't believe in yourself, of course, nobody else will believe in you. As always, my name is Derrick Lamon Jackson, and that is my time. Y'all have a good one. Peace out.